Welcome back to OpenLine. We are talking about homelessness in the city of Nashville tonight. We have the folks from the Metropolitan Homelessness Commission, Mental Health Cooperative Park Center, and also the Cookery with us. Taking your calls, we do have 2 callers on the line. Let's first go to Bob calling in. Hi, Bob.
Well, I think it's a good program.
Thank you.
I'm concerned. You talk about the housing. It needs to be controlled, at least once or whatever's going on. The other thing, I wonder what's happened to the tiny homes. That's the venue there too.
Okay, good question. You guys have any enlightenment on the tiny home?
I know a little bit. I know that there are some tiny homes over at Green Street, which is a like sanctioned encampment for a couple of folks to stay. And then there's a new project going on with Open Table Nashville, which is a really fabulous homeless outreach organization in town. And they have just announced that they're going to be starting a tiny home village too. And I believe they're still looking for people to sponsor some of those homes.
Well, you know what? I'm going to talk to our newsroom. We did a story on the first tiny home project going up, and it was a couple of months ago when they were just wheeling them in. And so perhaps it's a good follow-up. So I'm going to write that down and turn that over to our newsroom. So Bob, keep watching the news, and hopefully we can give you an update on that soon. That would be good to see. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It'd be very cool if it takes off and works and wonderful. And Bob brought also up a good question about, can't someone say there has to be affordable housing when we talk, or low-income housing? Someone has to offer this. I guess is there no law saying so much has to be offered, or doesn't somebody have to do something? You know? No?
Yeah,
that would be great.
I think if they had to, I would hope that if they had to, they would be. Yeah. You know,
so are you completely at the mercy of landlords saying, okay, I will take Section 8?
That's a large part of it, for sure. I think just education on that, like we spoke of earlier, and then, just opportunities that, I think there's probably, I don't know, but I would imagine that there's individuals too that are, looking at that next big initiative or that next big thing that they want to do to make a difference, but they just don't know what it is yet. And so, there may be landlords that they're landlords in the making. They're not even landlords yet, and they may have opportunities to fill that role, and then as a result fill this need. And so I think sometimes it's, not to sound philosophical about it, but I think sometimes it's just being open to new opportunities that you've never even thought about before. I wish it was incentivized or something. I know that's talked about some, but
we have landlord partners who designate 2 to 3 units out of 50 to 100, and you don't realize what a difference it can actually make to designate those 2 to 3 units to house Nashville, to take Section 8. It really can make a difference.
And we were talking earlier, if there are landlords listening, and I hope that there are, they don't just say, okay, we got 2 or 3 units, we'll do this, and you all put people in there and say, good luck.
No, absolutely not.
You really have people walk alongside them.
Yes. And they always have someone they can call, from the case manager to myself at the Homelessness Commission. They always have a point of contact, multiple actually, that they can call if they have questions or need assistance.
Good. Let's talk to David. David, thank you for being with us tonight on Open Line. What's your comment or question?
Yeah, good evening. Hey, I was lucky. I got in over here in Chippington one, but my problem was I grew up in Old Hickory, and I was trying to get into Old Hickory Towers, and they held on to my application for 15 months. And I gave it to the assistant manager when I first filled it in, and 15 months later, still nothing was done. The manager didn't even know my application was in the office. And I talked to a lady last night, and they done her the same way. And I'm, like I say, I'm lucky I got mine through the VA. But it's bad when you have your application there for 15 months, the manager don't know about it, and something's got to be done out there, because people are trying to get in out there, and you fill out your application, and that's as far as it goes. And y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.
David, thank you very much for calling. I read an article, and I can't remember where it was in, but it was recently, about the process for getting the Section 8 voucher. and that they were going to purge the roles soon and just start over because there was such this system problem where people apply, they get the voucher, they move, they can't find them, you're going through the list. What a mess. So what are the problems and what are being done to rectify those problems?
One great thing about House Nashville is MDHA is one of our wonderful partners who does allow for us to continually apply for Section 8 for the individuals we're working with, and they do designate 18 vouchers, up to 18 vouchers per month for the individuals we're working with, which is wonderful because without those 18, our people could just be waiting on that wait list of thousands for a very long time. So we are blessed to have that, and that is one step, towards prioritizing vouchers, which is great.
Do you find that this list is a problem as you all work through your own process?
I mean, there is a very high need for Section 8. There more need, there's a higher need than what they can meet for demand, and there's a lot of people out there on the streets looking for housing with a Section 8 voucher. So it can be frustrating for those individuals, absolutely.
And I think sometimes what is encountered as well is just we all have preference, right? What side of town, where we want to live, what side of town we want to live on, what's close to our family and our supports. And so I think sometimes what people run into is, like this gentleman said, he's from North Nashville or the Old Hickory area or Madison, and so that's what he's familiar with. That's the area he wants to be, and so. It's difficult to tell somebody, well, I understand that's where your family and support is, but we need to house you on the south side of town. And sometimes people will wait and choose to wait, but they don't realize when they say, I'm going to wait, and they pass up one opportunity, they don't necessarily realize how long the wait's going to be. We don't know, and housing turnover is not as great as I think some people, you kind of wait for that next apartment to come available, but I mean, I think people realize now just kind of how fortunate they are once they secure it, and so I don't think that the turnover happens quite as quickly as people anticipate.
Gotcha. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up, so thank you for being with us here on OpenLine. Stay tuned.